Well, guys, we are back from our little mini vacation that we went on before MSI 2023 ended up kicking off, actually. And we have had a lot of news come out regarding roster moves for the LCS and the LEC. And if you cannot catch the show live or you do not like watching, I would say podcasts, or you're not into like long form content, don't worry. I'm going to be clipping out all of the segments of this show pertaining to the roster moves. And yes, MSI 2023 has officially kicked off. And yes, Riot did put out the team emotes and icons. I really actually thought they weren't going to be doing it this year because they had literally waited so late to actually unveil them. So yeah, ready to have a banger show today. And yeah, we should make an account that's literally a TSM posting their L's. I don't think that could even be possibly a Twitter account that couldn't get followers, right? All right, let's go. What is going on, everybody? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 7, episode 21. Like I mentioned before, if anybody kind of wonders where we've been at, we just took a little bit of a break before MSI 2023 because usually after diving into, MSI and diving into, the roster moves that are now currently going on in this, mini off season, if your team is not competing at MSI, then, it's pretty much covering a whole ton of roster moves, MSI, and then right after that, you're pretty much just grinding out league content until Worlds is over, and then you're grinding out more league content because there's the off season after Worlds. So the only month you really don't produce any league content is pretty much just like December and like the early parts of January and like that weird middle part when all the splits have finished and we're sitting here just trying to do power rankings for like MSI usually, or we're trying to see like, what teams are going to end up making roster changes. So if you guys are watching the show, make sure you guys like the stream, comment, and obviously hit the notification bell. That way you can be notified on whenever we go live. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the announcements. If you guys are interested in subscribing to my main YouTube channel, where we are constantly live and constantly doing quality content, legitimate quality content. Not saying we don't produce quality content here. You can go ahead and subscribe. The links in the description box below have been all fixed up. And yeah, thank you guys for your support, after all these years of watching the channel, and for anyone that has been watching all these years too. So yeah, let's dive right into it because there's actually a lot to talk about just regarding a lot of teams, just for the most part. And it's something where, the LCS has been in a weird spot as well. Salaries are going to end up getting cut because, these teams aren't making that much money. And this is the thing, what was going to happen with the industry, the bubble was going to burst at some point, and we are seeing the ramifications of that. And today, Sean is here to tell me why Loud is the best team in the world and why Loud is going to win MSI, right?
Maybe if they had a better top laner and a
jungler. Top laner is garbage, man.
The jungler can remember to buy his items.
Oh, yeah. You might need a jungler that actually buys items in the game. You might need that.
Just saying. Yeah, no, it actually, I made a tweet about earlier, but again, it actually just, this sums up Brazil and a lot of minor regions, though. They have great teams in their, if you watch their minor regions, but they never go to Worlds because they always choke because they never like take it seriously. So it's always the teams like this with the veteran talent with experience that make it, even if they're shit. And then these teams, and then these teams have good talent. Like even though he didn't play that well today, or sorry, well, I thought it was today or yesterday, but Route and Tinones and COs. Then you have some fucks who are like maybe the sixth best top laner on their team for the last 2.5 years, like Robo, who's just been placed on these good teams because he's best buddies with people like Tinones and because he has a bunch of fanboys. And then people will white knight for him, even though he's shit and can only play like 3 champions, well, like Adam.
You know what's crazy today, dude? I remember watching Audie on stream, and I was like, man, I've seen Audie for fucking years at MSIs. He's always just ran it for the most part.
Yeah.
Why is he
that's another team.
Here? Why is he still at these events? He's bad.
No clue, but again, that's another team. The only good player really on that team is Bong. That's about it. Like fucking... like pretty much all the not only have the minor region teams that after what they've done basically have no purpose anymore, even though it was used to be fun to watch them in the past, and they should just do that combination, have 5 regions. But they've, besides maybe Gigabyte Marines, they've sent like the worst teams they could have possibly sent this year for all of them.
Like, what was the other thing too? Like Gigabyte or GAM Esports, they still have Levi, and I don't know. Levi's been not good ever since 2017.
I know, he's just won the last like 10 Vietnamese titles.
And people want to tell me that NA is worse than all these other minor regions, even though EG beat all the minor region teams. People forget. I think people are probably just trolling. G2 lost to the minor region teams, not NA last year. EG won all the minor region matchups. They just lost to every team that's better than them. That's it. Yeah, they beat everybody else.
G2 looked way worse this week.
If you forget, G2 lost to PSG Talon last year, and they've had this thing ever since like Schalke's Miracle Run. They've randomly always lost to a team that is literally worse than them in every regard. I don't know why.
Yeah, like remember Rogue in like I believe it was either 2019 or 2020. Remember when they lost to that PCS team and they went 1-5 in their group?
Oh my god. All right. I just shared out the stream, and we're gonna do all the news first, and then we're gonna go over the MSI matches because there's a lot of news.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. EU looks way worse for like the last 3 years than NA.
What are you talking about, man? NA's EU's gonna win.
God, they've actually
gonna win MSI.
They've actually looked genuinely worse.
What if G2 win a second MSI?
I would shoot myself with how they're playing. Like seriously, 20.
You can't say it on YouTube.
Yeah, 20. Oh, my bad. Well, anyway, yeah, 2021, 2022, and now 2023. They legit looked worse than NA. And the only reason that Rogue even made it out of groups in 2022 was because of that bug. If it wasn't for that, they would have went through tiebreakers, and they definitely would have lost since they went like 0-3 that week.
God, jeez. Like, imagine a world where G2 win another MSI. Obviously, as their fan, I would be really happy, but I'd be like, damn, this event must have fucking sucked.
Yeah, no, they look terrible, but whatever.
All right, so let's do this one. So we have Ruby, Rekkles, 100 Thieves, Dignitas, FlyQuest, and Evil Geniuses, right? That's like no. We have just that TSM, Rekkles, 100 Thieves, Dignitas, and FlyQuest. All right, so let's start with the first piece of news that we are going to be going over, which is Dignitas is actually going to be getting rid of Armut. As you guys know, Armut played in Turkey. He played with Closer. He played, obviously, in Europe. He clapped Arome at Worlds, and Mad Lions are like, hey, I'm gonna go get Armut to fuck your mom. Okay, that can't be a video.
Damn. Okay, do you have Tourette's or something? Jesus.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah, that's a good accomplishment, though. You beat Arome. Nice.
And then he got a job.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he can be a solid player. Just his issue has always been his champion pool. But I mean, on those champs, he's LEC, LCS material. But That's the issue, though. They just then banned them out.
All right, guys. So the first piece of information that we know about the 2023 little mini off season that teams are going through right now, if you are not going to be attending MSI 2023, is that these teams are going to be looking at changing up their rosters. So the first piece of news that we have to cover today on the Cloud9 podcast is Dignitas. And apparently Dignitas are going to be getting rid of Armut. Armut played with Closer on Royal Youth, and they won a title over there in Turkey when you could win titles in Turkey and then go to Worlds as an international wildcard. Then at 2020 Worlds, he managed to, in the playing stage, beat Mad Lions in a BO5, and he made their top laner at the time, Arome, just look like a complete clown. Then Mad Lions go, you know what? That's a pretty good top laner right there. Why don't we take that guy? They grab Armut. They end up kicking out Shadow as well. They keep Humanoid, Kaiser, and Karzi. Then they end up winning back-to-back titles with Armut. They go to MSI that year. They get top 4. They bring Damwon to 5 games, actually. They go to Worlds, and realistically should not have got out of that Worlds group, given how LNG and Team Liquid just completely choked against them. Then they get out of the group stage. They go to top 8. They get murdered by Damwon this time around. At MSI, they were pretty close to Damwon, but at Worlds in 2021, they get obviously pretty much destroyed. 2022, Armut is basically verbatim just running it down for the most part. One of the worst top laners in the league, actually. And this guy probably had maybe last year 2 decent games between spring and summer. Then at Worlds 2022, he looked completely destroyed. I don't know if it was mentally, team atmosphere. He just looked completely bad. This was against like wildcard team top laners. He looked bad against. The man literally could only play Gnar, who was a champion teams continuously ban out against him, or they'll simply just, let him have it, and he may still lose. Or the other champions he played that were top lane meta picks would be like Wukong top, or he played like Mordekaiser. Well, Mordekaiser and Wukong aren't good right now, so the only champion he can play is Gnar.
You're forgetting about, astronaut Gnar, gentleman Gnar.
Oh, yeah, right. So after that, he gets kicked out of the team when they lose to Evil Geniuses at the Worlds 2022 playing stage. Dignitas, you know what? Arma, I know you just failed against playing stage top laners. But yeah, why don't you come be part of my LCS team and get full salary? Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I understand why they did it, because, again, they were originally trying to sell their spot. And so, yeah, they were trying to build a competitive roster, but of not the most expensive options. And, I mean, if you're looking for a player with success and pedigree like that, even with a small champion pool, then I guess he's like the best option out there. And so again, yeah, he failed in play-ins, but Mad has always kind of had a history of that. Like even with Splice, they almost lost to Unicorns of Love.
That's true.
5 games. They probably should have. So yeah, they probably would just. And also, in that 2021 group, shouldn't have even made it out. Or like the worst team in the group. So they're just like, that's just maybe a Mad Lions thing. He might still be a good top laner. Good enough. And even if he's not that good, and so it's a small champion pool, in comparison to the rest of the league, he might be decent enough. And then if, Santorin, Jensen, and, play up to their level, but none of that happened.
Yeah. So then Arma comes over to the league, and he's complete trash. Guys, he literally had 2 single good games. One was on Cassante, and I think the other one was on, like, Jax. He sucked every game for the most part. And this is bad. He was, like, constantly losing, constantly down in CS, never impacting the team fights with any decent TPs. So, yeah, Dignitas are, like, finishing, 10th place? Guys, there was a single point in the split where Dignitas are literally, like, 0-9. And people are like, yeah, they could just turn it around. Yeah, sure. And my dad might come back into my life, sure. So Dignitas obviously fail during the LCS 2023 spring split. So like we mentioned before, constantly on these shows, is Immortals and Dignitas will end up making some roster changes. And the first one that we're going to go over today is sources. Rich will replace Armut in Dignitas, the Korean top laner who was called Faker of HOTS recently reached a verbal agreement with the LCS team. Rich won the Heroes of the Storm World Championship twice in a row when that was an esport. I mean, that's good. Okay. I mean,
it's a completely different game, but sure. Yeah, I mean, that game could have worked, but they didn't really put much care into it.
Know, Blizzard, and they're caring for their games.
Name a better duo, but anyway,
I remember Rich. Wasn't he on Team Dynamics with Gory at one point?
Yes, and it was and Doc Dom and that support then retired afterwards because he was 26, and then there was Beyond or something who also retired after that split. But he had solid moments here and there on Team Dynamics and some shaky moments, and then it was pretty overall kind of solid. Then he went to Victory 5 and in the spring split. Now he was overhyped by people put him first all pro team and stuff. He was being way overhyped, but no, he was playing very well though for the most part outside of the odd game here and there. He was doing his job for what was expected to him, and the keep control of the top lane while Rookie and others did their thing. But then he completely failed in summer. He did a tryout thing with two other top laners on the team, I believe BLG or some other team this split, and it didn't work out. Still, he got bested, so he kind of was a scratch for old 2023 spring, and now they're picking him up here. And again, here's the thing: I understand the move. I just hate when the teams import players for no good reason when there's regional talent that is at worst can be just as good. They literally have a top laner. He was the biggest clown I've ever seen in history, worse than fucking AVM when he fucking was playing for Dig last year. But in those few games, but Hoon completely stopped the entire amateur and academy circuit all year. He was by far the best player out of anyone in that entire system. Stomped everyone. All right, so you have a top laner like that, a Korean top laner, 23 years old. He has the same play style, all the same champs as him, and then you have a 26-year-old washed top laner in Rich who was a healthy scratchel split. Which one are you in? Which one are you starting?
Yeah, that's what I think is they just wanted to get rid of Armut so bad they're not even thinking, hey, we actually have a player on our team that could easily just replace this guy at the salary rate we're already paying him. Because people know these Korean players are not cheap anymore. This back in the day, the Asian players used to be kind of cheap compared to the pay rates in the league. And that's not true anymore. You're paying top dollar for some of these guys. And if you're paying top dollar for a player that pretty much, I remember him from last year too on V5, solid spring, and then just fell off a cliff in summer. It became just the Rookie show. And then obviously, as you guys know, Rookie didn't make Worlds last year at V5 either. He's now on top esports, and then that team is also sprinting him too. I don't know why he chooses cursed teams like that, but yeah, guys. I mean, we told you guys Dignitas are going to make changes. Is this the right change for Dignitas? So the roster is going to be Rich, Santorin, Jensen, Tomo, and Ignar. Yeah, that's a solid 9th place again.
Yeah. Again, Immortals was worse than them. They should have got 10th, but either way.
The joke we had was we didn't even have a 9th place team. We had 2 10th place teams.
Yeah, pretty much. Ignar is dog shit. Tomo can be solid.
Tomo's literally garbage, man. He's even worse than Spawn in some cases.
No, Tomo can be solid, but then other times he's kind of garbage. It's sort of the same thing with Diamond. When he was playing, he looked solid at times, and then other times, so it's mainly a consistency issue. But no, I would say he's better than Spawn. But
also, if you guys hear stuff in Sean's background, he's sawing his pigs or something.
Okay, now again, in the apartment complex I live in, the floors everywhere are literally falling apart, and then the floor in the apartment next door completely collapsed, and now they're repairing it. So that's the sound you're hearing.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's sawdust everywhere. But anyway, this is a honestly, here's the thing: if they at least what they did with Golden Glue, Demonte, and a Blaze Olive kind of on Golden Guardians that one year when Demonte came in and then started in 2020 summer, if they at least do a tryout his spot isn't, secured. Just give him and Hoon a tryout to see who's better at least. Then I'm fine with this. And if if Hoon's worse, then whatever. But I don't think this was the best. The best player that definitely could have picked up. There's definitely some NA talent that could best him or at worst be as average or mediocre or
they
bad.
Could have probably gotten an Australian top laner that probably looked better.
Yeah, honestly, like Surdy could have even been fucking better than this.
What that guy BioPanther? I thought he was pretty solid too for a little bit there.
Yeah, for a short while, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
They could grab Robo. He's going to be unemployed after MSI, so.
Hopefully, but yeah, Jesus Christ, whatever. Definitely with the doesn't really make the most sense, but whatever. And then for the rest of the roster, Santorin, I honestly wouldn't have even given him a second chance in summer. Sadly he was great before, but he looks completely cooked now. I would have honestly replaced him with even Tomio or someone, but give him a chance at least. But and then the bot lane somewhere else. I don't know, maybe there's talent you could have picked up. Honestly, could have picked up Trevor Breezy for support. There's a lot of options, but whatever. Honestly, the biggest thing though is I feel bad for Jensen that he's stuck with Dig again for another split.
Hopefully he goes to a different team. Hopefully. Well, guys, that's it. Rich will be replacing Armut. Good note is Armut's not going to be playing, and they probably got a guy that's slight. It's such a lateral move. It's a slight upgrade, but that's going to not really make it that much of a dent. The thing about the summer splits is 8 teams make playoffs. All they're hoping probably is to get 7th or 8th. That's what they're hoping.
Yeah, whatever. The worst thing is that they're probably paying more for this than what they could have gotten in regionally, which is dumb.
All right. Next piece of news we'll be going over in just a moment is... All right. Okay. This is an interesting one because it's this classic TSM, You never can understand what these guys are really doing, everybody. And here is the next piece of news. If you guys didn't hear about this, Solo is going to be going to Immortals. Sources, Solo has reached a verbal agreement with Immortals LCS. Solo will be the top laner for the North American organization when the details are finalized. Thank God they got rid of Revenge. That guy is trash.
Yeah, I would have actually jumped. Okay, can I say jump off a cliff on YouTube?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I would have actually jumped off a cliff, if Revenge was going to actually be on an LCS team for 3 years straight. I would have just offed myself right there.
Dude, have you not noticed how people treat Revenge? What do you like about Revenge and his gameplay? Oh, he's a great guy. But he's a great guy. Oh my God! Revenge is ass water.
Again, the reason why is because they have this mindset of where it's as long as you're in the top 7 in LCS, your job is secured. And of course, he's always around number 7 because there's dog shits, top laners like Armut and and Ruin, but he does nothing. He's an even worse Kumo. He's at best just a tank weak side guy, and then once in a while he can play an Aurelia or a fucking or a Riven, just every solo queue player can play.
What's crazy, dude, is people think that Revenge is elo held with Immortals. No, people, he's elo helling them. He's elo helling them. I promise you, he's not good. Revenge is bad. I told people they're gonna replace him. He's dog shit.
Yeah, no, no one is really elo and hell anyone. The issue is just like the last 2 years, the entire Immortals roster and every roster they basically ever constructed is literally 5 meh players.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's no one great.
And this is the thing. Revenge and Kenvi had no chemistry together. How is this gonna fix anything? And yeah, Solo will probably be a nice, fine ghetto budget version of Impact, and that's going to be a decent upgrade for them. How does that fix the synergy with Kenvi and Balulu? Because Kenvi's been bad too.
But please don't tell me Balulu's staying.
Did you not think he played decent given the circumstances around him?
Yes, but not good enough to stay in LCS for the summer split though over other mid laners such as Copy and Diplex and such, and also
Dick Flex.
who should have probably went to 100 Thieves or TSM, but TSM honestly would have been the perfect destination and the perfect fit for literally like all of Cloud9 Academy besides maybe Tomio, but then they decided to not pay their players, so nobody wants to go there besides fucking Ruby. But yeah, but also the other thing, he only plays like fucking, but that like the two whatever champs that shoots lasers out of their asses at one champ, and then the fucking Aurelian Soul. That's all he plays well, and then he had to play fucking Zoe or something because it was that bad. So yeah.
Well, guys, Solo joins Immortals, and that's good because Revenge is dog shit.
Yeah, it is incredible, though. Solo is the master of just finding teams at their most desperate situations and swooping in.
I told people, the way Hanser played better than Solo, Hanser was going to get the spot. That's crazy because when Hanser was behind Huni back in 2021, people said, oh, Hanser could easily take his spot. Hanser kind of ran it down in the Academy scene that year, and Hanser hadn't got a chance to play in a while. So, yeah, Hanser is going to be most likely at TSM's top laner. I don't see why he wouldn't, given how much better he played than Solo in the games that he got subbed in for.
I don't know. Again, with how Fake God played and Whom played, I just don't understand why they don't just give them one more chance instead.
Dude, this is TSM. You think they're making the right decisions here?
Well, both them and Immortals. It would be better just to give both of those a second chance besides all these old people.
We should really make that Twitter account, TSM posting their L's.
Yeah, I know. I posted the comment why that won't work. Why don't you highlight it?
So that Twitter account would not work because TSM is the end of TSM's L's. Oh, my goodness. All right.
Well, that's positive, at least. No more L's.
That's Solo, and we covered that one last week.
Yeah,
okay,
however, there would be some record-breaking thing here, all right, with Solo joining Immortals. All right, you know what that is? Basically, our Afromu and Double Lift, I believe they're Double Lift's going to as well later this year, probably, unless Unforgiven, replaces him. But yeah, they did turn like 30 years old or whatnot. With a lot of players like Afromu before they retired, but they never no one like Lemonation or anyone, despite playing for a while and at an old age, have never played an LCS game, I believe, at 30 years old yet. But Solo's turning 30 in May, so he'll break it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be the oldest player in the LCS. That's Imagine Solo, 40 years old, playing in LCS, still just drifting the teams.
Yeah, and I'll just play like on every team for like a month.
Eventually, he'll be on Cloud9 and win a title. Holy shit!
Yeah, actually, he was already on Cloud9 Challengers and Tempest. Like, yeah, he's going to be on every LCS team ever. He was on Fly, CLG.
This is one that is just so bonkersly crazy. This is the biggest highlight of the news that we're going to cover in this episode. Ruby is going to be TSM's new mid laner come the LCS 2023 summer split. Maple looked like a top 4 mid laner with that horseshit roster they put him around. And like, you know what? I know you kind of carried this team. You know what? Get the fuck out of here. We're going to grab Ruby. That man was tearing it up over there in the
there's a lot of sense to this, though. Like, okay, first off, it isn't going to be the biggest news probably because those other two news pieces I would say are pretty bigger. But here's the thing. Number one, again, with what they announced with the player salaries, I knew that Maple and them would want to get the fuck out of there. Maple, once that was now announced, Maple's like, okay, I'm heading back to LPL 100%. Which is why then they should have just gotten like a Diplex or somebody else, as I said. But yeah, they went with Ruby though, and nonetheless, this is now Ruby's desperate enough to have like a good portfolio heading into 2024 with how bad he played. Who's probably like, I'll take the hit for one split to play for TSM, I guess. But this was not the greatest decision with how he played.
This man literally, this past spring split, everybody had one good game, and that was on Ari. One. This man had a single good game. In winter, I'll give it to him. He had a few good, decent games in winter. He actually was a big part about why they even finished decent in winter anyway. But in spring split, no, he ran it down. Guys, I shit you not. It was literally a single game he played good. Every game he ran it down. He's the single reason why they didn't even beat Mad Lions in that tiebreaker game. He's the reason why.
Yeah.
And TSM are like, we got to have that guy on our starting roster.
Yeah,
What?
again, a lot of people like honestly wanted to try to throw shade at EV for their failure, and I'm not saying he played well. Trust me, he had that
pulled
game with
together
like
toward the very end. He was clutch when they needed him to be clutch. I'll say that.
yeah, but like here's the thing though. Again, EV came in with the mindset that yeah, he's a bit washed now. He's older, but he's mainly there to be like in a better like arm move,
Calling
like
him Gohan, calling him washed.
whatever. At least be like a weak side, tank type player.
Yeah,
And he's done his job with that for the most part. He hasn't been great, but that wasn't the goal. His goal was to at least be like an Odo Omne, a weaker version of Odo Omne, or like an Armut. And if the rest of the team, does well enough as they should, then that's good enough. And that's the issue because Yankos, well, it's not his fault. He just has poor communication with both his top laner and mid laner. And then Ruby failed in Spring Split. And then also Jack Spectra for the entire year, who was supposed to be their carry, who literally shit on everybody in the EU Masters tournament, literally single-handedly carried their team basically to the championship against all the French teams, has done nothing. All right? So, yeah, it's been pretty much like the entire team. It wasn't really as much EV's fault, and he was a big reason for it in spring. He did poorly. In winter, he did really well, but spring, not so much. And, it makes me question Heretics' move with him in the first place because while it didn't work out, he was one of the best options available at the moment from the EU Mastered circuit. So I could understand it, besides one thing, though, which is that they already had Zyru on their roster before joining LEC, who was one of the few mid laners available in EU Masters who performed better than Ruby. So
why not Ica? I heard he's great, man. Quality mid laner right there.
Yeah, I'm sure Yike was so happy to get away from him after carrying him so long. But anyway, that's what made it just a dumb decision to me. But anyway, now he's on TSM, and it's like, sure. I mean, if you're looking, he's probably one of the few players, or like the only player who's willing to accept that nothing salary for one split, and who's like, yeah. So it's like they're hoping that he plays as well.
Do you think it's going to be a case of like when Gory comes to the Else? Because people compare this to like, well, Gory came over. Guys, Gory was actually good. That's the difference. Gory was actually good.
Yeah. It just didn't work out on SPX and such.
Yeah, the thing with Gory is he was actually good.
Yeah,
and
he won MVP.
And the thing here, Gory actually performed internationally. It wasn't like a mid laner that's like, oh, he's just a wild card mid laner that's just kind of whatever, just stomping on trash. No, he's actually a good player. So him coming over would be like, okay, this is actually, you're importing a good player. This guy, I don't know, man. Maybe it's in a Menace situation where he hasn't just found the team that rightfully suits him. Sure. But I don't know. Like, people keep doing this like, well, it happened for one guy, so it's going to be... No, that doesn't exist for everybody. That's just maybe a one-time thing for a lot of people. He's not, like, that impressive. Unless he's playing Ahri or Azir, this guy's a walking bot, essentially.
Yeah, again, with their low salary, again, you have to always remember the low salary thing. So a lot of players are going to decline to even play in like
what? Reginald pays top dollar for these players, man.
Jesus Christ! Like I'm sure there's even players in the academy circuit who are going to say no this year, not even get the look at this year just because of the salary. But
I swear, man, Copy will never get a team at this rate.
Yeah, like Copy really should, but get a chance. But whatever. So I guess considering that and how he played in winter, it's worth giving him another chance with your fucked up situation. Will it work out? I don't know, and I'm not sure, but I think this could be a good fit for him, but we'll see. I don't know if anything's a good fit for TSM these days. So what I will say, though, is, I mean, if Diplex and stuff were going to say no, the best option outside of an import that you could have gotten in the academy circuit was the mid laner who was on that fucking... Let me look at the academy thing quickly. You can talk for a little bit. I forgot his name, but
yeah. So my thing here with the TSM acquisition of this is a straight up downgrade for Maple. This is just a flat out straight up downgrade. The roster is going to be Hanser, Boogie, Ruby, Wild Turtle, Chime. Guys, Chime had a pretty bad split too. Chime was turbo sprinting in a lot of those games. Then they're hoping, okay, Ruby's going to have better synergy with Boogie than Maple. I mean, yeah, Maple and Boogie had bad synergy, but how does Ruby fix that? I don't know how Ruby's supposed to fix that. So That's just my thing. This is completely horrible. If there was a TSM posting their L's Twitter account, that'd be probably one of the biggest ones in recent years.
Yeah,
Good
but
Lord.
Now I would give Chime another chance to split because he was good prior. But if you wanted to replace him, then
replace him with Ayla. He's pretty good, I heard.
Fuck no, but yeah, replace him with again. There are many supports this year that played well that could be in LCS over many others like Zazel, Trevor, Breezy. There's many, but there's many.
I think the perception of Zazel's so fucked after that Evil Geniuses time period.
Yeah, but Bane played poorly as well.
They don't give slack to Korean players, you know that.
Yeah, it's like he was.
They can't do nothing wrong. A Korean player runs it down. You're the problem.
It's like no, he was really not the problem. He had issues and he had a down year, but no, he was not the issue. And he's been playing well enough for the last 2 years again in LCS spot. But anyway, and then there was also he went to Africa Freaks the year after, and he was played like a 40th place fucking ADC. But anyway, so this was the player Shoshi who was on Cincinnati Fear. He would have been a good fit for a mid laner for TSM if they were going to get anyone in that system, like him and Trevor from that Cincinnati Fear team.
Given how Rainbow Seven just clapped BLG, why don't they just keep importing players from Mexico? I heard they're pretty good. No, guys, I'm joking. They're bad.
Jesus Christ.
TSM imported 2 players from Mexico, Mia and Boogie. Mia, they brought over in 3 weeks. They already kicked that guy out. You're going to Academy, and now we don't even want you on Academy team. Like, bruh.
Yeah, the only one from any sort of Latin American region who kind of worked out was Takeover for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, they're also never going to give Trevor a chance, even though he literally played the best support in the entire Academy system because he's 27.
And here is the other biggest news to come out is Rekkles, longtime ADC MVP, 4-time LEC winner, Worlds finalist, multiple Worlds appearances. AD Carry is swapping to support. Now, I'm not going to detail the big fucked up relationship between Fnatic and Rekkles, but at least I can give Fnatic one shred of credit. At least they're like, hey, you're role swapping to support. You ain't trying that shit here. Go try that shit on SK Gaming or Excel. That's good. I'm glad they did that. Oh, this is also a split we're going to be qualifying for Worlds. And he's like, you know what? The best split to do that is now going into Worlds. I'm going to role swap. Bruh. If that might be one of the biggest Rekkles L's ever. If he swaps Summer split and they can't make Worlds because of him. Crazy.
Look, with how his career's going, though, and the fact that he shouldn't have even gotten on Fnatic in the first place, and especially not over Upset, who's done fantastically again, because damn, it's almost like he was the best player in the league, and then you replaced him with a washed-up bum just because he had a relationship with him before. But anyway.
No, they actually wanted to keep Humanoid and Razor together. They preferred them, because Razor and Humanoid didn't want to play with Upset. So they basically gave him an ultimatum.
What?
It's either we keep Upset and change the whole team around him, or we keep Razor, Humanoid, and Wonder.
They do realize Humanoid's shit now, right?
Yeah, we know. I mean, Dardo doesn't make the best decisions.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, but nonetheless, just for his putting Fnatic aside, and how this is not good for them, just for Rekkles's career. Yeah, this is the only way to keep his career going at this point, just like Sven. So it's a good decision on his part. But hopefully it works out for him like others and
because I'm being honest here, man. He wasn't gonna after this year. I don't know why this man keeps randomly trusting Fnatic. I don't know why they have this weird fucked relationship. They were gonna get rid of this guy if they didn't make Worlds. This kind of reunion. Oh, I'm coming back for the 3rd time. This was only gonna happen based on the fact that all the other options they had did not want to play with Rux. That's the reason why they didn't have Unforgiven, Carzzy, Upset. They didn't want to play with Rux anymore after their play-in stage games. Who else really good ADC in Europe that were coming in? They weren't going to get Dot. What's his name? Not Dot. Exekick. They weren't going to get him. Comp wasn't going to come. Their literally only option, because they were just all in on Rux, was Rekkles. And then at this point, Rekkles was like, you know what? I don't want to be with you guys anymore. I want to go play support. All right, cool. Go do that on Excel. You're not doing that shit here. Fuck that. He put out a video. And we're going to go over it. Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
Fucking Cody's son could have been a better ADC this year than fucking Rekkles. Jesus Christ.
Hello, everyone. This is my 31st take, and I am not scripting it anymore. Because I've tried to, and I'm not getting anywhere. So, I'm just gonna go with the flow. Long story short, I am rerolling to support. I know it sounds really crazy. It might be, but I've had a feeling for a while now, and I guess this year kind of confirmed it, that I'm a really good AD carry, I think. But I've reached a point where I'm kind of just treading water. I don't know if that's only a Swedish saying, but basically what it means is that you
peaked. This guy peaked. This guy's peaked forever ago. People say, oh,
Yeah.
people even say this guy was the best ADC at Worlds 2020 when Han Feng was so much better. That's ridiculous. They actually think Jackie Love was worse than him, people, when Jackie Love was playing with Yu Yanja.
Yeah, whatever. It's so fucking stupid.
Okay.
Fnatic shouldn't even made it pass or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, given the ADC pool in Europe, Hansama, Upset, Karzi, Exakick, I mean, he's basically competing with Jack Spectra, is he not? I heard he was pretty good.
Yeah, fucking hell. I mean, let's see. Is there any other better ADCs? Let's see.
I mean, Patrick played, outside of Patrick, probably played pretty bad this year, and Jack Spectra, he's probably like the 8th best ADC, if he's being honest. I mean, I can understand the honesty. Like, if you're really looking at it, he's probably like 8th best.
Mm-hmm.
If they play with him again, there's a good chance they don't make Worlds. I mean, I understand that, but given how volatile the LEC is, am I supposed to believe he's not going to get back into form? Like, even Kabe got back into form after, like, very splits of him just running it himself. I'm not saying that it's impossible.
All I'll say with Patrick is he missed opportunity to get an NA paycheck. That's all.
Crowny went from like a 5th, 6th place ADC to like one split becoming one of the best. I don't think he'll keep that form consistently, but anything can happen.
The issue with Crowny is he always showed this potential, and he's basically like the biggest entire reason why BDS played so well this split. Like fucking Adam and shit can go fuck.
I heard it was being carried by Adam, right?
Yeah, no, it's Shayo and Crowny and then Nuke at times, and not Lebrov and not fucking Adam. Fuck
Lebrov, the solo queue prodigy.
Those were like the two dead bodies all year. But anyway, they just for his entire career just didn't find a good fit until finally now. But anyway, it's
try really hard, but you're not getting anywhere, and that for me is AD carry. I've done it for 12 years, and I'm kind of stuck in the same place. So I think the best course of action is to revamp myself, to try something new. And I really believe that I'm able to pull this off. I'm the Janna after all. Obviously, I will have to do so much work on the melee supports, even on the range supports, just in general. But I believe that's a strength of mine anyway, the work ethic part. And game knowledge is there, communication is there. So there's honestly no reason for me not to be able to pull this off. I will go into much more detail some other time, kind of what I did after the winter split on a stream. But for now, I will just leave it at that. Super exciting. I hope I can pull this off and use all of my previous experiences to something really great, something I haven't been able to do on the AD carry role for a while. And let's see where this journey takes me. I hope you share it with me.
Go do that shit on another team.
Yeah. Now take your shirt off and see those tattoos.
Oh man, this man is obviously clearly mentally thinking well, right?
Yeah. I heard this similar shit from a little ADC who played for Golden Guardians one time who role swapped. Hey, well, it worked out great, because he's been doing fantastically, and now he's at his first international event ever. He had to go to PSG though and change his name to Woody, but
man's out here down bad.
Fuck, with how bad he was playing in my bow, be fucking Keith. Jesus Christ.
PSG have a guy as an ADC named Wako Flacco. I love it.
Yeah.
Here was the update that Fnatic gave. While our performance and team synergy improved, we won't be satisfied until we're back to where we belong and where you, the fans, expect us to be. Yeah, you might as well, to be that, you need to probably stop making shitty roster decisions. Okay?
And you need to actually, focus on your brand and content to revive your fucking shit. Like, Jesus Christ. Also, hold on. Does this mean that Advian is getting fucked over again?
No, he's going to be their support still, probably. They're just looking for a new ADC. He's still going to be their support.
Wait. So Rekkles is... Okay, so they're not doing it. He's not doing it on Fnatic. He's going to practice throughout the entirety of summer, then hope to get a team in 24.
Throughout the last couple of weeks, we've been exploring potential options and working hard to build the most competitive roster for the future. Yep. I'm supposed to believe that when your ass had Rux and fucking Oscarin. Yep. Most competitive roster.
Yep. I think that was a fantastic move, though. Let's both get rid of the best ADC in the region, and then, for Rekkles. Yes, but then not at least pair it with Hylissane. Let's then pair him with Ruckus. Fucking Uncle Ruckus, Jesus Christ.
With Rekkles' decision to swap roles, which we will support however possible, we've come to a mutual decision to not move forward with him on the starting lineup for the next split. And guys, when it comes to after Worlds and that big offseason we have, he won't be on Fnatic anymore. I feel like this chapter on Fnatic is over with this.
If he ever plays for Fnatic again, I'm going to eat a bar of soap.
Therefore, we will be seeking to sign a new ADC in the coming weeks. We will continue to work hard behind the scenes and provide further updates as soon as possible. # always Fnatic. Oh,
yep.
Lord.
Yeah, and FBI is available now.
Oh, yeah, they can grab FBI. Yep, they can.
No, he could genuinely be a better option, though, than Rekkles. I'm not even joking.
Unforgiven is Elo held on Hunter Thieves Academy.
No, actually, those two would be way better options right now. Let's just get one of those two if you can't find anyone.
K4, what's up, man? How you doing, dude?
Yeah, and, unlike, getting players like Vulcan or Blabber who could actually play for your region and, stomp the shit out of a lot of players, he's Oceanic instead of Canadian or American, so, you guys can sign him and, your ego will still be in check. You won't be like, oh, why is this American playing in our European region?
So my thing here with this is Rekkles is going to roll swap. Outside of the other information that came out, guys, so it was by the same guy we always use. He's pretty good. Pretty much the Jacob Wolf now of esports news. If he reports on something, it's pretty much 99% happening.
What the fuck are you following? Jesus
She
Christ.
follows. She was hitting me up in the DMs.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah.
So guess what's happening? So Rekkles announces role swap to support. Fnatic goes like, you ain't trying that shit here. Then part 3 of this saga. Sources Koi has let Trimby explore offers. Among the options being considered to replace him, one of the most likely is Rekkles. Koi are going to get rid of Trimby, an LEC champion, Worlds appearance twice, top 4 consistently, for a role swap support for the first time in an LEC split.
But Trimby wasn't even playing bad. He was playing good. What?
Oh, God. Okay.
What is this? He was playing good. Why are you doing this?
Rekkles and Comp as a bot lane.
Fuck, that's going to be so toxic with how they both are. Holy shit. This is, listen, I understand that your team has just been treading water, as Rekkles would say. You basically reached the ceiling with that, split win last year, and you needed to kind of rebuild and shake things up. And, you've just been making top 4 in winter and kind of getting wins, making playoffs just from experience over other teams with them choking, not you outperforming them. But this is not the way. This is, that is the biggest L move of the year. Yeah, this is not the way. You have a top laner who's really not doing that well. Oh my god, whatever.
I guess, Trimby, has he had the best split this split? Kind of, maybe. I just think they just hit a ceiling. They can't really do anything else. I think that's also partly due to the fact that Malrong's still on their roster too.
Yeah, I think just all the players on their roster I think they've been playing well overall, just better players.
They've hit a ceiling where that style is not meta right now to play, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't think Trimby was the issue at all. I think he was still playing well. I think if anything, outside of the odd game where he gets like a pentakill, sort of like Danny, I don't think Comp has been doing
Comp has
as
not
well.
been that good either.
Yeah, no, he's honestly like compared to every other ADC, he's been playing really well. He's like 6th or 7th, and then their top laners, so just Kenda has not been. He's been doing.
He improved from winner.
Yes, he's been improving. He's okay now. He's sort of like I would say he's like worse than irrelevant though.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next piece of information that was available to us. 100 Thieves. I even said this. 100 Thieves picking up Bjergsen was a mistake. I literally was like, no, this is a stupid move. This guy was turbo sprinting it last year. Now Bjergsen's gone. And then gone as he's left the actual esports scene.
And never come back. You should have retired ages ago.
Him and Bjergsen tag teamed, Lena, and so did Reginald. So he's 3-manned her, ganked her.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that the real GOAT of NA mid laners is still around.
All right, so here's 100 Thieves' newest mid laner. Sources: Quid has reached a verbal agreement with 100 Thieves. The Korean mid laner from Genji has been one of the players who received the most interest this LCS off season. Guys, I'm not even kidding here. Bjergsen was old man on stage. This man couldn't even hit any ults properly. This man was not in it anymore. Yeah. And I don't know why anybody on 100 Thieves' management team were like, you know what, we just beat Bjergsen both semifinals last split. Hey, can I have him on my roster? What the fuck? They beat him multiple times. 100 Thieves didn't even lose a fucking BO1 to them. They beat them both times in best of 5s. Bjergsen was not someone I would have picked out of that roster to bring over.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
But now they have this guy. I actually have watched LCK Challengers. There's some pretty good players there. I've seen this guy a little bit. The problem here is he going to be able to be a good acquisition for the team as this is going to be the team that allows him to, be the player that
I don't know.
Need him to be?
I really don't know if it's going to be a good fit or if he's going to be good right away. I think he'll be good right away. I just don't know.
A lot of people think he can challenge a menace. Okay, guys, let's on the roll here. If he cannot, there's no way I believe he'll immediately be as good as Gory or a menace. No way. With weeks in to come, sure, maybe. But given how 100 Thieves' coaching staff has been, I mean, when shit went south, they literally fired their coach midway, brought in Nuke Duck. They're like, you know what, fuck you, Nuke Duck. Now we want Kane. It's like, shit just goes south. They start changing shit. So,
is
he going to be an upgrade over Bjergsen? Sure, probably.
Yes, it will be. I don't know if it will be the good fit, but listen, now a lot of people are just throwing names out like Jensen because they just feel bad for him with how he's playing. They want him on a contending Worlds team at least, and to break the record, he's tied for it, the streak. And also just throwing Dick Plex out there, because obviously he's like the better looking NA option available right now in the academy circuit. But the main reason why though was because nobody actually expected them to get players like Quid. It's sort of the same thing where players like Photon and Pays would be obviously amazing pickups for an LCS team, just like Berserkers. Just nobody expected them to, pick any LCS teams over like an LEC or an LCK team. And this was the same situation. Quid was playing fantastic. He has great potential. And, you might have saw him when he was forced to play ADC last year because of COVID issues with the roster. He's playing like mages still in that position. But anyway, so that's why everybody just kind of had him off his radar and didn't even bring him up because nobody expected this. Now that it actually somehow happened, though, this was the best available option for them. This is a great pickup. Now, will it work out and will it be a good fit, though, is the question. But nonetheless, just player skill-wise, this is the best possible option they could have got him.
And also, people understand if you have Double Lift on your roster, he's going to be the person that's
he's going to be demanding all these fucking hot Korean talents.
Like, don't forget, Closer was the main reason why they were on that winning streak. The only reason why they had that winning streak.
Yeah, definitely not Double Lift, definitely not Busio. Tenacity, some games, but yeah, for the most part, it was just closer.
But you know how nice 100 Thieves were, dude? They gave Golden Guardians that win to give them that momentum so they can go to MSI. They're a generous team.
Yeah. And I will say, though, jokes aside, credit to Golden Guard, even though it's just Gigabyte Marines. The issue going to MSI, everybody was scared about, and why they were even predicting GAM over them was that they thought they were figured out. Now they thought that Cloud9 figured them out, and just the other teams like Fly were having too many like roster and internal issues, and were being too stupid to figure them out. Which is that just draft that counters early game, and then they're done for, because that was how they got older leads, early game and Zeri. But they've been now changing up their play style against GAM, so there's some hope maybe with Golden Guardians internationally.
All right, guys. So 100 Thieves will have Quid as their newest mid laner. I also think their rookies played pretty bad too. Like I wasn't a huge fan of their gameplay at all. Busio ran it down most of the split. Tenacity pretty much ran it down most of the split. I know people are gonna go, well, they're rookies, and it's, guys, you shouldn't have to subject yourself to bad gameplay because someone's a rookie. I don't know where that concept comes from. They didn't play good at all. They played actually pretty bad for the most part.
Well,
Busio
again,
the hope had like 2 decent games the entire split.
Again, the hope is that they learn from it, improve, because they're rookies. I mean, obviously that isn't going to be the case with every rookie though player. You know, it wasn't the case with Shadow, I guess, but he has been doing solid right now in that new LPL team, I guess. So maybe he is now. But again, that's the hope for with younger players. And I mean, it happened with JoJo, but he has had a down split now, and it happened with Fudge. But yeah, that not every rookie is going to be the case. Like, so with Tenacity, you know, he's always shown top potential.
Might as well bring up General Sniper then.
Yeah, no, he's always actually Sniper. God, he was so overhyped. He's not been good at all. He had to be replaced by fucking like a Darshan, I believe.
What if they put in Darshan, the Darshan Doublelift reunion?
I don't know, but yeah, that kid was so overhyped just because of his age and just because he's related to Viper and Revenge, which means that he's eventually going to get an LCS opportunity, though, like those two did, just because they're all related to each other. But anyhow, like Tenacity always showed that potential and stuff, and they said he'll work. You know, he has issues like laning and stuff, but it easily can be coached. Yeah, the problem is it hasn't really too much, and is that coaching the blame or him? I don't know, but either way, it shows that it isn't with every other rookie. But Busio's issue, in my opinion, is I don't think he actually needs much coaching. I think he's got it. I think the issue is legit just nerves.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that is it for 100 Thieves, and the very last piece of news that we're going to cover, and after this we'll move to going over the games, is going to be the information surrounding Vulcan. Vulcan finally has found his team for the LCS 2023 spring.
Well, I mean, were there any other things you wanted to say, though, about how their rookies performed on 100 Thieves?
Bad.
Okay.
Because they were really, really hyped up. And I was like, nah, I've seen it too many years, man. Overhyped rookies coming out, and they just play pretty meh.
Again, when people hype them up, I don't think they're saying that they will play on that level. They're just saying that that's what their potential can be. Just like Fudge when he eventually reached it in like summer 2021. So I think that's all they're saying. I think and that they're at least LCS spot worthy, which I do think they still are. I think they're at least good enough to stay in LCS for like next year and such. I mean, unless Busio doesn't wake the fuck up.
All right, guys, here's where Vulcan is going. Sources: Vulcan has reached a verbal agreement with FlyQuest. So Vulcan is going to take Ayla's job and Winsome's job. FlyQuest screwed over Winsome.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I feel bad for Winsome. I think that he was not the reason why FlyQuest at all lost that series against Golden Guardians. He was actually like the best player in that series. He did great, and was a great fit with Prince. Like, if anything, Prince was the one that struggled. So I really don't like that and how he's getting fucked over. And again, there's like 6 supports in LCS right now who should be replaced with others. Winsome's another one who should have a fucking spot. So I don't like that, but either way, putting Winsome aside, yes, this is the utter best support they could have possibly gotten, and this is really makes it exciting now to cheer for Fly, because Fly's a great org, and now they have a lot of great likable players on their team, and Vulcan's another one after he got fucked over on HG. The only issue is communication issues. All the others are speaking Korean.
Mm-hmm.
They're all speaking rap. What's going to happen?
They spit in bars. They spit in 6ix9ine.
Yeah. And again, you guys might be confused. Vulcan left before that LS experiment where Fudge and them were also learning Korean at the same time.
So let's kind of recap what ended up happening with FlyQuest. FlyQuest ended up having Winsome, who played pretty well despite kind of fucking up in his first year in 2021 on Cloud9 and Unicorns of Love. Comes over to FlyQuest, plays really well, then gets thrown out for Ayla, who FlyQuest had already previously committed to. So that makes sense. At least give Ayla a week or two. They gave this guy way more time than they needed to. He completely flopped. People were literally begging them.
Yeah, and then they finally did it. And he looked great in the playoff. He was like the best performing player in the series. But then he got subbed out again now for Vulcan.
God, if I was Winsome, I'd never go back to this org ever again.
But again, with Winsome, that's another good example, though. He's one of those rookie players who does learn from his mistakes and actually grow like Fudge, because he's only been playing League for like fucking 3 years now, and he's been learning this fast, and he learned from his issues on Cloud9, on Unicorns, and then from Unicorns on Fly. But anyway, this is such a stupid decision on that front, but I don't know. Honestly, Vulcan and Winsome are...
Does this make their team better? Kinda, I guess. I think this is why I said FlyQuest weren't going to be that good anyways, because Speaker and Impact are a terrible combination of players to have. You pair that up with Vikla, who's also just not just everyone's a mage player, but the style that Vikla plays doesn't complement the style that Speaker plays. It was literally just going to be they invest all their resources into Prince, and then that's how their team actually is going to function. And they were just lucky. It was just a meta where investing resources into your bot lane was actually a way to legitimately win. That hasn't been a thing for a while. I knew coming over Prince would be pretty good. If you had watched Prince last year in the LCK, he was popping off pretty hard. Prince was great. But as the split went on, Prince also started making a lot of bad decisions in game, and his laning phase suffered because of it. Him and Ayla's synergy was just not there. Ayla was just running it in most of the games. Now, people could say, is that coaching? Is that a situation of just the mental is just not there anymore? It's a combination of a lot of things. I think FlyQuest got exposed pretty hard for their weak early game. They had a lot of issues with them anyway. I think people just were not keen on pointing out those issues, and I think that the standings for how the split made it look a lot more better than what the team was actually showcasing. So Vulcan is going to be FlyQuest's new starting support.
Yeah, again, many mixed feelings about this. On the one hand, cool, but on the other hand, feel bad for Winsome.
Oh no, Ayla, no, buddy, no.
Did he tweet something out?
This aged like milk, buddy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Buddy, this ain't it. I'm sorry. You is too trash to be talking this level of smack. I'm just saying. You is too bad to be talking that
that second tweet, because Vulcan literally said facts. He was just to the first tweet, promotes movie, he said, saying that from somebody who's literally replaceable and there's no impact on his team. And facts. This is
just watching LCS orgs implode on their own bullshit is just literally ridiculous.
It's hilarious, but again, it's just a fuck situation for both of those players. But with that speak, Impact is the type of player where I'm honestly fine with, because you place him on any roster, and I think it's a fine fit because he usually just does his own thing as a defensive type guy. But with Speak and Vikla, that was always going to have bad chemistry, which sucks though, because on paper they're all excellent players, so I wish it would work out. But anyway, they're still going to be great enough though to get a top 3 world spot, I'm sure. That or like is it 4 slots now that NA gets at Worlds or 3?
Oh, that fourth team has to play an EU team in a BO5 for that fourth seed. It's not guaranteed. It's not given.
Honestly, at this rate, the NA team will probably win.
And that's what we've been asking for too, because everyone always says our fourth seed can beat their fourth seed. Well, now we can finally see it. Now we can see it. I mean,
no, but yeah, no, and that's always actually been true though. That's hilarious. It's always
last
been
year
true.
Didn't. Yeah, EG was the third seed last year going to Worlds, and they beat Mad, who were a fourth seed.
And that's actually funny though, because the NA fourth seeds are actually better. But now that they're putting this into place, watch now that just randomly doesn't happen, and then EU fans go, "Ha ha!" See, even though that's literally been the opposite for the last like 3 years. Then now that they finally do this, now watch them just beat all the NA fourth seeds. Just because that's just our luck.
Good Lord, man. It's also another thing to bring up is I like this MSI format this year. Everyone knows I love it. It's a great format. No more 8 BO1s of seeing Isurus and Instable Wildcats getting fisted repeatedly. Yeah, I'm not a fan of watching that.
Yeah,
I think nobody is.
I mean, it was fun at first, but then those regions fell off.
Fun?
Yeah, it was fun at first, and the regions
You enjoy watching Isurus take a fist of their ass by RNG?
I know. I enjoyed them beating like PCS teams. Like
yeah, that's where you're gonna get your wins at. That's the rivalry right there.
To then make it into groups, or Supermassive beating Mad, and then Unicorns of Love beating Supermassive. That's what I liked. But then all those regions fell off a cliff, and also part of it being the war. And then and now they've had so little minor region teams because Riot's not supporting Oceanic and shit that there's just no point to them anymore. Just combine them all with PCS and LCS now. And again, God, there's Brazilian fanboys like, no, we like seeing our teams internationally. Okay, number one, or you can expand the leagues and orgs like Cloud can join LCS, so you can still be fans of those teams. All right. And secondly,
Brazil fans don't want to lose. Brazil fans know their teams are. They know Brazil fans know that they need to stay in their own bubble because they come over here, Loud playing that way. They're gonna be like an 8th place Dignitas team too. That are terrible.
Yeah. But either way, you can still have your teams in LCS, but also second, and they can make worlds or stuff. But secondly, what's better, this or then having like 1 or 2 Latin American or Brazilian players who are like the best, then are on teams who then make worlds and actually have a chance at winning championships instead of just play-ins. What's better?
Well, my thing here, the way the wildcard teams are treated is, and I still don't like how the format does this. The format improved, but the way the wildcard teams are treated, and I mentioned this before, which is the wildcard teams don't get scrims from a lot of these bigger teams. No Chinese team is ever going to scrim Loud, or no LCK team's going to do it Loud. So they're going to go on stage and play teams like LPL second seeds and LCK second seeds. They're going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
all the time.
That and their coaching staff, like it's always been piss poor with them as well. So that's another thing that can be improved on. You have like an EU Masters, a bunch of different, leagues, like a college league, the LCS Academy League.
My thing here is Brazilian league. Never ever play a LPL, LCK, anything. They need to only play to ramp up with the event to give them time to scale up because they're a wildcard team. They need to only play VCS, PCS, and Mexico teams. That's it. They should never even be allowed to play LPL teams like that. Guys, Yagao beat the shit out of them. Yagao played Nautilus mid and ran them.
Yeah, remember that double kill? That was hilarious.
I would have walked off stage. I would all right, boys, we're going home. You can't. I'll show you this right here, and this is the reason why. I know a lot of people are gonna go G2 almost lost to Loud. Keep in mind when teams like G2 and Cloud9, guys, where Cloud9 even plays, Cloud9 would have not have played a game on stage in almost a month since the spring finals, right? There's a thing in you watch pro wrestling and UFC, right? You're in a concept of ring rust. They're gonna be really rusty on stage because after the first game, G2 just beat the shit out of them. That wasn't even close.
That and again, they drafted a shitty comp. And another thing is that also just proves my point there, where it's like, they have talent, they could pull off those upsets, but then you have
I like Tinones, dude. I like Tinones. He's pretty solid.
Tinones, Route, COs, and when he's not forgetting to buy items, Croc, but then you have players like Robo who are shit, I'm dragging it down. So again, what would be better though? just seeing them get stopped in play-ins and then leave internationally, or would it be better to have your own minor region again, but just in LCS as a in the academy circuit, and then also have your top 4 teams make the giant tournament for amateurs with other teams from each small league, such as the college circuit and
so highlights are not going to show this. Croc actually forgot to buy items. Maybe he's under hard pressure because of the Brazilian fans. Motherfucker forgot to buy items. Try to think he could smite the red buff and get level 2 off that.
Did you see his reaction?
Oh no, I did. I was laughing and I felt bad. I was like, this man's just mentally fucked right now.
Yeah. It's like he's playing.
He actually thought he could smite the red buff without items and thought he could get level 2 off that.
Yeah. The sad thing, he's still probably better than Croco, though.
And credit to him, he did bounce back a little bit after it. I got to give it to him. He did bounce back a little bit. People have been... Yike, I think, popped off pretty hard, despite missing 95% of Nidalee spears. Popped off decently well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look, you see Tinone's playing well. So you see what's better. What's better? Seeing him on this trash and then seeing the teams get eliminated? Mm-hmm. Would it be better for him to be on an LCS team like 100 Thieves or something, let's just say in a make-up scenario, and he's still in the prime of his career, playing fantastic, and then make Worlds with that team and actually have a chance at top 8 and top 4 and, have as a Brazilian player in LCS? What would be better for Brazil? That or to just see Loud do this and then get eliminated?
People think G2 are going to lose to this. How can you lose to a team that do not start items? Look at this horrible dive.
The reason why is because...
Look at this dive! This is not acceptable!
Yeah, no, the reason why...
If they get away with that in their region, that region is mega trash. There's no way you should be losing to that.
It's because all the Loud fanboys showed up for MSI and...
Hashtag go Loud?
Yeah, and here's the thing. They don't watch this esports game probably as much, unlike, Valorant and stuff, games that they're actually good at. So they probably just showed up to this event because Loud's here, just like last year, thinking it's an even playing field, not realizing how shit Brazil actually is at League of Legends, unlike Valorant. I can guarantee you that's the reason why they actually thought they had a chance.
All right, so this is this is the part of the game where people lost. No, it was this moment. It was a moment they were doing a fight next to Rift Herald, and Yike was fucking trolling. So the only reason why they actually had a chance in this game is because Yike, who's their Fed member, decided, you know what, on Nidalee, I'm going to end up hitting and frontlining against the goddamn Renekton and the Tom Kench. Why is your Nidalee not poking out the Aphelios? Why is the Nidalee just running and frontlining? That's stupid. I don't know.
Oh, that was a great flash there.
Yeah, and they all got, I think, let me resolve this a little bit. So I think it was somewhere where, routes right there, Croc. Yeah, right here. They shouldn't even be in a losing position. Remember, guys, this was a 4v3 at this position. This is the only reason why they had a chance to win this game. They should never be in this position anyway. I get it. G2 hasn't played a game on stage in a little bit. They're rusty as hell. But holy crap.
Why were you targeting Robo? He ain't doing shit. He's tanky.
Robo's literally 0-2. Man, barely just bought his Gourd Drinker.
Yes, he's not doing any damage, and you're not doing any damage on him.
Yeah.
Just leave him be.
To play Nidalee, you don't just run in. Nidalee needs to kite, throw spears, chunk people out first, then go in with your pounds.
Yeah, they could have easily killed Route there, and it would be done. But no, they went for Robo. Yeah, go for the Croc instead of the fucking Aphelios. Good job.
Let's just burst down the bot lane. That ain't doing shit. And let's just burst down the top laner that has barely bought his Gourd Drinker, who's 1-4 at 15 minutes in.
Mm-hmm.
I fail to understand how that was good.
This is when I believe they start to fall apart.
Yeah, this is the part where they start falling apart. Loud, bring it back for a little bit there. Then toward the very end, you could tell they weren't going to win this game because they had horrible. So I've always criticized wildcard teams, dude. The macro play is abysmal. The map decisions are so abysmal. The fact that they could even somewhat crawl a game like that back and still not know what to do is bad. It's just unacceptable. The next game, Yike plays Nidalee again, and this is my thing. I still don't think Nidalee's a good champion in general, even with all the great other jungler picks. I mean, if you can pop off a Nidalee as hard as people think you can, good, I still wouldn't always bank on that. Broken Blade, despite having a suspect early game, ended up managing to pull it back. If Broken Blade is on champions like Darius, good, cool, awesome. That's going to be the only thing he doesn't basically run it down on for the most part. Maybe outside of like Olaf too. He's basically just a better version of Adam. I don't know why people shit on Adam when he's just the same.
Broken Blade and Adam have just been that basically. They can only play like 2 to 3 champs well.
And this is the reason why
that's also been Robo. Mm-hmm. So this is
the reason why G2 were trolling. You could tell they were rusty in the first game. This is not even close to a close game. They got ran down. Tinos had a really bad game on Sandra. Croc, I mean, he existed. Robo, I mean, he's there.
Look at that Ophelio CS, you know.
Oh, yeah. Man, just getting gapped. I heard, man, this is as bad as watching BRTT just try to carry his team.
Wait, is that a level 8 versus level 6 jungler on Wukong?
Oh. And people think Loud was good. I love it.
Yeah, how do you get like 3 levels above as a Poppy against a Jax?
Tino knows that if you just use your W on Lissandra, you can stop the Rift Herald from doing that charge. Nope, didn't happen. He just let it take it for free. Also, you know what happened with DFM versus PSG? PSG won. That's what happened. Dennis and Fuck Me has been fucking us since 2018. Don't know how they keep making worlds. Dennis Fuck Me is terrible.
Once again, all these minor regions besides maybe GAN shouldn't have been there. There were way better teams. And this was especially the case with Detonation Focus Me. They were like 2 to 3 better Japanese team. The team that had Corporal on it, who's actually like, he's like the one Caucasian player in the league. That team was way better. And then the team that had Jet on it, he was always carrying his trash teammates, was way better. That also had it. Yeah, it was, I believe, Jet. It was Jet and who was the other player? There was a player who used to be really good who's on Loken, who's on JDG before when they won that title.
BLG versus Rainbow 7. This was just, it's like watching a porn star take a fist in her butt. It's this is bad.
Yeah, no, I want you to watch this series and ask yourself, what's the point of, just like Oceanic last year, what's the point of Latin America even attending?
What's the point of pairing them up with China? Like, I'm cool with them attending, just don't pair them up against LPL and LCK teams. As their first matches, they're already morally destroyed. There ain't no mentality they can bounce back from this. Also, Audi doesn't ever gank for bot apparently, and their bot lane just gets massively destroyed. That's a 40 CS gap right there at 10 minutes. 40 CS gap at 10 minutes. Listen, Ike or Elk, I can't remember his name. Elk. That guy's not even like a top tier ADC in China for the most part. He's like a top 10-ish ADC. They made that man look like he was fucking prime Jackie Love or some shit. Guys, On has been on Suning. He's never looked that good, but On's bounced back this year. I'll give him that.
Yeah, the thing with On is he has some of the best mechanics ever for a support, but he doesn't have much of like the game IQ.
Yeah, Zun popped off really hard. It was nice to see him going hard. I always liked Yagao on more supportive mids. If he's on carry mids, nah. I like him more
well, that's the thing with Yagao. He's one of the best mid laners in the world. If he's in a role where he elevates, I said not individually.
You met
dumbass.
Pearson, right?
I said not individually. Dumbass.
I think you met Pearson's the best mid
in
the world.
said in a world. I said when he's in a role where he elevates his teammates, and that's what he did with BLG, and that's what he did with JDG. He elevated his teammates' skill level.
This is borderline disgusting. Doing was ahead of the time period. Nautilus came back mid. Just with the classic thumbs up. The LPL fans are always coming out and supporting the teams, even if they're not like huge fans of said team. Just like the Brazilian fans are always going to go out to the events and support.
Unlike Brazil, you mean, where anytime Loud isn't playing.
Oh yeah. And obviously, guys, don't go to Brazil with Counter-Strike events if you're not a native. Because
any events. There should never be any sports or esports events that ever host in Brazil ever again. It's disgusting.
That's why MSI hasn't been in Brazil. Remember that time where SKT won? That random fan got on stage and started hugging them. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, like again, Brazil Brazil could be great locations for these events. Just like it could have been that, or India could have been a good location for MSI when there was COVID. But because they do this shit, it's like, yeah, I mean, they're punishing, they're hurting for it now, and that's why there's no support for their games, and that's why, like, even when they do well in games like Valorant, they then get worse, over the years because there's no support, because nobody wants to support.
But I heard Loud's the best team in Valorant right now.
Jesus fucking Christ, but yeah, and just they're the only region and only country in the world who does that shit. So if they try acting like it's a normal thing, just block out the craziness. All right, they're mentally ill, but anyway, yeah.
For the most part, BLG run down Rainbow Seven. Game 2, Audi tried playing Elise. He thought that could work. Zun just made him look like he was silly. Good God. Elk.
Yep.
They made Elk look like a top 5 ADC in the world with this kind of performance. Look at Sayo. Why are you even here? How did you get here? What are you doing?
No, because the Rainbow Seven didn't deserve the win, but, besides, Bong's like the only decent player, and Miros at times. The 2 imports.
Good job. Good job, Lawns.
The team that really should have won. The team that really should have won is another
with BLG. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. BLG looked pretty impressive. I get it. Rainbow Seven was going to get stomped by them. I get it, but given how they looked in this game, the only person that didn't look good today was Ben. They literally targeted him the whole time. Of course.
Yeah. Throw him in the fucking trash bin.
Yeah, throw Ben in the trash. The jungler literally perma-ganked him since minute 1. Obviously, Ben's trash, right?
Yeah, but again, with Rainbow Seven, the team that actually should have went is the team that had B-Voy on it, and B-Voy keeps getting fucked over. He keeps joining these minor region teams where he plays amazing, and they always take it to finals game 5, but he always loses. So, anyway, tough luck, but anyhow, yeah.
Whatever happened to Infinity Esports? What happened to them?
They're still around. I follow them as a fan because it's the Costa Rican team. So,
give me 1 second. All right, and the last match today for MSI 2023 was Golden Guardians versus GAM Esport. Like I mentioned before, people, NA is not so bad. They're gonna drop games to wildcard teams. I mean, this proved it again. At least NA is competent to take out wildcard teams. Everyone said that NA was shit, but yeah, everybody's NA being shit is compared to like LEC, LCK, and LPL, right? Compared to actual wildcard teams, no, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna just basically beat the shit out of them. Obviously, they targeted like the wildcard team's strength always seemed to be target top, get an advantage top, and then translate it into nothing. This game, they got an advantage top. They really just did nothing with it. They just actually did nothing with it at all. It was appalling to see. Then, like we mentioned before, Golden Guardian strength. If Gory and River get ahead, that's going to be very good for them. He got a chance to play set support again. That was one of his nice little pocket picks. I even said, it doesn't matter if it's countered. Fuck that. If he's good at it and you confident to play it, let him pick it.
Yeah,
he's popping up pretty hard today.
Yeah, I'm surprised how little games. Well, he actually played no games, I believe, on champions like Set, Amumu, and Ziggs this year. So it's nice to see that.
Man was out here just style on them. Like, they made Stixxay look like he was in his prime back in MSI 2016. Good God. Game 2, I think Gamma just mentally defeated. I don't know. Like, I don't even know they've been trying in the second game because Gory was just running motherfuckers down. Stixxay obviously toward the end of the game, gets a pentakill. Guys, this is a stomp all day. That's the reason why I didn't wake up with these games earlier. I knew Golden Guardians would win. I knew BLG would win. Why would I wake up for this other than to see Laurel's pretty face? That's it. And to see to hear Mark Z say BLG are gonna probably lose to Golden Guardians. Great analyzation, right?
Well,
if Golden Guardians did upset BLG, that's very good for them. I'd be very proud of them.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting after how G2 played that they're gonna now play fucking PSG to get out. While Golden Guardians played better, but yeah, and your people said that fucking GAM would upset them. Most people said that.
Even after NA teams wipe the floor with wildcard teams, they'll still say the wildcard teams will win. That is wipe
the floor with fucking EU teams for the past 20 years.
People say we're biased. Like, no, that's not biased at all. How would the way the wildcard teams have played throughout all these days, they've not improved. They're just not good.
Yeah, I have to say, how many more international tournaments where does NA not even have to wipe the floor with wildcard teams, but even play as good or better than EU teams for you fucks to stop treating NA like a garbage region? Like, I'm curious, how long will that take? Do they need to play as good or better than EU with their results?
I don't know.
Worlds
Like,
for
does
another 5 years?
Do any teams have to go 20-0 against wildcard teams for people to understand that they're better? I'm sorry, guys. Random losses to wildcard teams in literal luck scenarios does not count for them being better. I guess people are looking at the ones where CLG versus Albus Knox, the CLG wildcard win losses in 2016.
Hey, you mean the group where G2 went 1-5 and would have went 0-6 probably?
Yeah. There's the
C9
loss to Pentanet.gg. It's like, all right, outside of like the very few times they've lost to wildcard teams, which is honestly just the Pain Gaming loss, the Pentanet GG loss, and the 2 that CLG had against them, they've only really lost like, I'm saying they've lost less than 10 times against wildcard teams.
Yeah.
The DFM wins in 2021.
One win. Here's the thing, but all those wins did not matter at all. The only loss ever to wildcard team that actually it hurt them was like years ago with fucking VRTT against Double Lift's team. That's it. But so every other time, they were worthless games like the Pentanet game or the DFM game. All right. Well, when you look at EU's losses, they actually had some effect. Like there's been many times Turkish teams in play-ins beat teams like G2 in best of ones, and then there's times where they almost lost best of fives to teams.
G2
like
literally lost to Fonvu Buffalo 4 times in a row.
Yeah,
remember they lost to Fonvu Buffalo at 2018 Worlds twice. Same group. Then at MSI, the MSI there they won, but they were actually a good team. They still lost to them twice. They lost 4 times in a row. They're 4-0.
Yeah,
Fonvu Buffalo, who can't even be Gamma in their own region.
Look at all the teams Unicorns of Love beat. Look at the teams Supermassive beat. And then also HUG beating fucking Mad again. Yeah, but no, let's bring up the worthless fucking best of ones.
Yeah. I love that too. It's like, the wildcard teams got their wins. First of all, those weren't even half them shits were never clean. They were actually based on the fact that the NA teams played worse. Then the other thing is none of those wins actually really mattered in the grand scheme of things. There's been like one that has mattered, and that's because if CLG had beaten Albus Knox, they would have had a chance to get out. That's literally the only one that's really ever like screwed over them. Cloud9, even though if they had beat Pentanet, they were not going to get out anyway. Let's just be honest here. They lost to Unicorns of Love, but didn't people say Unicorns of Love were a decent wildcard team? So now you can't even lose to decent wildcard teams. Now you just have to just crush them.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Wildcard teams are dead now anyway, sadly. But they were fun.
Unicorns of Love are going to win LEC next year.
Fuck. I hope they make it back to LEC, though, but I don't think that'll happen.
I mean, dude, are they buying...
I don't think so.
They're not buying a spot unless they do a koi move, and they'll probably have to give up creative control. But if they do that, they're going to lose the Unicorns of Love logo in Thailand. It's I don't want them doing that.
So, I don't see it happening, but I would like to. I mean, Ninjas in Pajamas at least is kind of back now.
Oh, Nip? Yeah, I saw that too. Hey, man, given how great FaZe Clan is run, FaZe Clan can be in LCS now.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter. That's why I'm sure TSM will make it back one day, because after all the scandals Nip and FaZe went through, and Optic, they're back, though. They're back now.
All right, so that's pretty much it with MSI 2023 currently. Our next episode will be on Sunday. It'll be with Chaz and Sean, actually, around 5:30 p.m. PST, right when I get off work. And here are the matches. So just in case you guys don't hear from us for the rest of the week, because I can only pretty much do like the podcast and the odd video right now because I'm currently really busy right now with our movie projects and stuff. The next match right now is Golden Guardians versus BLG. All right, you know what? Fuck it. Golden Guardians in 2 games. They're gonna smash BLG. No, I'm kidding. BLG gonna beat the shit out of them.
I'll give Golden Guardians 1 game.
BLG win 2-1. Think it's fair.
Yeah, right 2-1. I think there'll be 1 game where honestly,
they should have won.
They should have won. I think what will happen is they'll give River will get J4, and I think Licorice won't int.
Gory will match up to Yagao, I think,
Right.
skill-wise, and then I think they'll give the resources for who he and Stick say, and they'll like make a comeback when they're trailing like 3K behind or something, but then they'll get stomped in the other two.
All right, I'll put BLG to win 2-1. PSG Talon versus G2. I mean, whatever. G2 win 2-1. I don't care.
2-0 G2, and they should be the ones facing BLG with how they fucking played. Stupid draw.
I'll say this though. I wouldn't be surprised if these games were just throws on PSG's part to make G2 win. I'm not surprised if that does become a scenario. Just saying.
Yeah, I think early on the games will be close, but I think like later on G2 will like win a team fight in each of them, and then PSG will lose their fucking mental and just like die a billion times until they eventually lose.
All right, the next one is going to be GAM Esports versus Rainbow Seven. I mean, I don't the Ding Bong Nihongyongs versus the Taco Burrito Makers.
Yeah, I think Rainbow Seven will leave the tournament with one win on the road, but then just from GAM choking. Because they happen to do that against teams like Latin America, but then 2-1 GAM.
2-1 GAM. All right, and the last one we're going to predict for Friday is Detonation Fuck Me versus Loud. No, Loud definitely probably win.
Yeah, I wish both of these teams would go out.
I wish this is going to be a series where none of us win. We just wasted time watching this.
Yeah, both of these teams shouldn't even be at this tournament over other teams in their region.
Hashtag Go Loud, baby.
Yep. I would hope more that I would hope more that Detonation wins just because it's nice to see Unicon at more games, but
yeah.
So I'll go 2-1 there. I guess I think Loud will get one, but I honestly could see Loud beating them just out of pure luck after G2, but I don't know. I still think DFM is better.
There might be a nice confidence boost for them if they can beat DFM, but
yeah. Well, after last year, maybe, but
maybe. All right, guys.
I don't know. Do you think that Loud's gameplay would actually counter Golden Guardians though in the lower bracket?
If Loud could actually facilitate an advantage that's decent enough to make sure that River and Gory are not getting ahead and getting put down, probably. Mm-hmm. But
because that's the thing though. While they do shit against the Asian teams, it seems like Brazil. Their play style, it seems to do the best against EU and NA teams because they're similar.
Yeah, that's my thing here is I would like if they played more games because I don't think they're a wildcard team that's just as dog shit as the other ones, but god damn, after what I saw, it's like, this is the team everyone's hyping up in Brazil. That's their team? Yeah. Oh god.
Again, they're never going to improve though because of the wild card system, so it's just best to combine them with LCS and have at least 4 orgs like Furia, Flamingo, Pain, and Loud in LCS, and then just have them as regional talents.
Oh, Linardy is talking about something, and we should definitely care, right?
Yeah. What is she talking? What is she talking about?
Linardy explains how her Aston Martin got hit by a random car.
Oh, I thought she was going to say she ran her cat over.
Oh Lord, now we're gonna go to jail. So, that's pretty much it, guys. MSI 2023 is underway. Decent, exciting. Remember, guys, the emotes are out now, and the emotes have not looked good. I know I said this last year too. The emotes haven't not looked good for these last 2 international events. The MSI 2022 ones looked better. Those look really good, actually. The emotes that they've been putting out for these last 2 international events, I mean, they look pretty subpar compared to what I'm used to out of them. I mean, yeah, I'll have the bundles and I'll buy them all and I'll rock them for my favorite teams, but god, these I don't know. I feel here, I'll show you guys right now. Some guy had a picture of all the Cloud9 ones. He's missing the 2021 where, as Sean says, Cloud9 should have been there in 2020.
Yeah, well, I mean, if not them Golden Guardians, definitely not the team that literally rigged it that year, but let's not go into that because I'm pissed off enough.
Look at the way that looks. Look at the way some of these look. These look pretty solid. That is kind of janky too, I'll say. But these all look kind of solid. And now you got this. So, yeah. All right, guys. That is pretty much it. Thank you guys for showing up today. All right, we'll see you guys on Sunday. All right, guys. Peace out, guys. Deuces. See you Sunday.